All right, welcome back to PALS TV, everyone. We're going to be heading over to Licking County now and joining our friends. Together we grow. Lou, Mary, Kim, and Sarah, I believe, are going to be hanging out with us today and teaching us actually from the kitchen for the last, I don't know, 10 weeks. We've been out in the garden. Now we're going to switch it up and go inside for the day. So I'm looking forward to this segment. Live from Licking County, we have our Together We Grow friends.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Together we grow here. And that's right. We are, what is it called? We are, well, we're cooking. Okay, I have sometimes
Out of the garden.
Out of the garden. But we have worked so hard in the gardens with you guys. You know, all of us have just been sowing, cultivating. Now we've harvested, and now fruits of labor. That's what it is. We get to
Zucchini time.
enjoy our fruits of labor. We have some zucchini. These are actually babies compared to the ones that we've picked in the past 2 weeks or so. But last week, Dan brought some zucchini bread to the garden at the end of the segment, and we just really want to share that awesome recipe with you. It's great full zucchini bread, and we are going to go through it, and you guys, maybe we'll send it in a message or send it however, and you guys can make it at home. So it's really easy, and I'm going to read the ingredients through, and Kim is going to demonstrate, right? And I can also help demonstrate, but there we go.
So the first thing that we had to do was cut the zucchini up. And what I did is I chopped it in half this way, and then I chopped it into some manageable pieces. And as you can see, this was a pretty big one, and it has seeds. So you always have to remember to remove the seeds. It's pretty easy. You can tell it's a little bit different color, and you can see them, even though they're not dark seeds, you can see that they're there. And they would be kind of tough in the zucchini bread. So you want those out, but you can leave the skin on. I always do. And even though you think the skin would be tough, it's not.
I like it with the skin in
So
there.
it makes it kind of colorful, and everybody knows it's zucchini bread and not banana bread.
Yeah.
So you want to hollow it out, kind of like doing a pumpkin. I don't know how many of you have hollowed out a pumpkin. And then you can put it in a Cuisinart if somebody has a food processor. That's great. I like to exercise, so I'm going to take one of these smaller ones that happens to fit on my grater. And all you do is you grate it nice and small. Be careful on your fingers. Once you get towards the end there, you have to be kind of careful not to cut off the ends of your fingers. Do a flour down here. There you go. I thought I didn't have any flour and you were going to bring it.
No flour at all.
No, not even a little bit.
Okay.
I'd have to run next door. If you want to do all the other ingredients, I can run next door and see if she has any.
Well, let's just go ahead and go through this. We have the final. That was on my table. Like, no, just the nutmeg.
So this is about 1.25 cups of zucchini. I can run next door if you want to go through.
No, we'll just go. Well, no, we need the real stuff, right?
Yep. I'll run next door.
So about 1 1/4, right?
And it's already 1 1/4 is in there.
Okay. So, well, Kim's going to get the flour because that's what good neighbors are for. They're going to let us borrow some. My bad on that. We are going to get. Let's see. We're combining the flour, sugar, baking powder, soda, and salt. So we're putting all the. Hi, doggies. Some doggies down here. We are going to combine all the dry ingredients. Okay. So, let's see. We need. Brown sugar, we're going to do 1/2 cup.
It's in the
Brown sugar.
jar.
Oops, on the flour. Oh my gosh. 1/2 cup. So, well, I never thought I'd have my very own cooking show. This is, but I forgot the flour, so. Might not get the job today. Shoot. Okay, guys, it's all good. So here we got 1/2 cup. So, and this is all going to be in the large bowl. So we're going to brown sugar, Next is we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder. Lou, what's the difference between baking powder and baking soda?
Baking powder has some other ingredients besides soda that help it rise a little bit quicker, I believe. A lot of recipes will call for baking powder, some call for soda, and some call for both.
That's one of these recipes.
And if they calls for both, that means it's probably pretty heavy stuff and they want it to be able to rise. So
Okay.
put in both. I think one makes it rise even before you bake it, and the other needs heat to help it rise. So
Okay. Let's see here. So baking powder we have, but not baking soda.
mm-hmm.
So, like you said,
Yeah, it has cornstarch, salt, and baking soda in it. So it's got more ingredients.
okay. So then, let's see, we need the baking powder, flour's on its way, soda. We need a 4th teaspoon salt. So there's salt. So this one, like I said, we're doing all our dry ingredients, this large one, which cinnamon, nutmeg, and clover. Okay.
Cloves or clover?
Cloves, I meant. Sorry. Cloves. Okay, so a 4th teaspoon of cinnamon. I wish I. Okay. That's how easy we do this now.
Maybe you can pop off that top.
Oh, yeah, I probably could, huh? No, I do it. I just kind of guess. No, you shouldn't do that, but I'm guessing that's about right. What do you think, Lou?
Looks good to me.
Okay. Because, baking can be kind of an art too, once you've done it a couple times. Now, I have not made this. I've made this recipe once last year, but once you do it a couple times, you can kind of do that, Okay. So we have the cinnamon. Next, we need the nutmeg.
Wait, I think we had the
Oh, I brought
nutmeg.
Okay, now we need the cinnamon.
Now we need the cinnamon.
This is awesome. Please don't be recording this. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So next we are going to do a 4th of cinnamon. Same thing.
Well, you're not Julia Child, but
I know. There, guys. Oh my gosh. Where's Kimmy Meter? And so cloves in a large bowl. Now she did say cloves were here.
yeah.
And little thing where to pour. Okay, 1/4 of cloves. Look at that. See, practice makes perfect. There we go.
Went to the neighbors on both sides, neither one's home.
Okay, well we're gonna keep it our list.
There's no close by stores.
That's okay. Okay. Cloves in a large bowl. So next, we are going to, in a medium bowl, we're going to take 2 eggs.
In the fridge.
Okay.
That one's been fertilized.
Where do you get your eggs, Kim?
Grocery store.
Okay.
I buy the pasture raised, free range, organic eggs.
Okay, so what we're doing now is, because we put the flour and everything in this bowl, we're going to go ahead and and all the dry ingredients. We're now combining all of the wet ingredients. So we're mixing the eggs. We need next oil.
How much oil?
So we need 6 tablespoons of veggie oil.
Oh, really? 5 tablespoons. Huh?
Look.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. I know, it could have been a little different, huh? Yeah, perfect measuring.
Do you,
Good.
kn- you can use less oil in zucchini bread than you would in other kinds of quick bread because the zucchini helps make it moist.
Very nice.
If you don't put things like bananas or zucchini in the bread, you have to use more oil to make it
More
moist. Yeah, so the vegetables help.
Okay, so then we are going to do
I'll go ahead and beat up the
the
eggs.
zucchini and the vanilla.
I'm going to mix up the eggs so that they're thoroughly mixed with the oil.
Okay, then we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
I love vanilla, so if I overdo anything, I overdo the vanilla and the cinnamon.
Well, we already overdid the cinnamon,
Oh,
so
good. Okay.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I was a little nervous about the whole
we took
flour
care of
thing.
that for you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, you know what? Kim said she likes cinnamon, so I took it as a.
Let's just go for it. And what I'll do is I'll run out to the store after the meeting this afternoon and get
Yeah,
some flour, and we'll actually bake this.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, we did the vanilla. What's next?
Okay, so we have vanilla, we have the eggs, we have oil, we need the zucchini. And then,
If we had flour, we would mix it all together. But probably now you don't want to mix it because we don't want the baking powder to start making it rise too soon.
All right.
Also, we still need soda too, right?
There's the baking soda and the baking powder.
We put the baking powder
not
in.
baking
We
soda.
didn't put the soda in.
There is no baking soda according to that one that she said. I can get some.
this asks for a 1/2 teaspoon baking
Oh, soda too. Okay, I
and
can get
baking
that.
powder.
I can get that.
So, yeah. So this, take a look at this. This is
It looks
our
kind of
mixture.
pretty.
It does. It actually looks like a dip, actually, to me.
I wonder what a zucchini omelet would taste like.
I know.
Maybe if it had some cheese and some bacon in it,
You have
it'd
to have
probably be pretty
cheese.
good.
You have to have cheese in an omelet, right?
Well,
That
it
would
helps.
be good. So Kim and I kind of went over the ingredients on the phone last night before, and I'm like, okay, check. Had the flour on my table, big old bag. I'm just picturing it sitting there waiting.
How
So
much
here we
baking
are.
soda?
Okay, so we need 1/4 of baking soda,
Wipe that off a little bit.
and
Let's see.
To level out stuff, it's real easy to just, there you go. I can't remember why I have it in a container and not the box. Maybe I bought one of those really big boxes to use in a kitty litter, and I just wanted a little bit for the kitchen.
okay. Here's our flourless dry mixture. Now you guys know what ingredient is important, okay? And we kind of did not do that purposely, but raisins, we need 1/2 cup, so we're gonna add those next. Okay, so let's get, basically what we're gonna do is, now that we have our dry mixture, we have our wet mixture, we're going to pour this into the wet mixture and add raisins. So we are going to add, if you like raisins, you know, and I think they're pretty good in it, we're gonna do a 1/2 cup.
You can also, instead of raisins, put chocolate chips in.
That's really good.
That
With pumpkin
sounds
bread
very
and chocolate chips.
Yeah,
So
it's good in zucchini bread
Is it?
too. Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
particularly if you have little kids and you want to entice them to eat it. The chocolate chips help get them started.
Yeah, if you don't tell them there's zucchini in it, most kids will eat this and gobble it up. So if anybody wants to know, it's a little bit, it's about two little of these little kid-sized containers. It's about 2 of those.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna add that. Well, we're not gonna do that right now, right? We're not gonna mix these since we're waiting.
We'll just
So
set
we're
this
just gonna do
aside.
this.
So in the real world, we'd put flour in there and then we'd mix the two together.
So I would have put this smaller bowl into the big bowl full of flour. We would have mixed it thoroughly up, then add the raisins, because that helps it, then add the raisins. And then there's 2 things you can do. You can put it into muffin tins, and excuse my pan's kind of ugly, but I always have these little, oh, these are cuter. You can get all kinds of really, really cute muffin tins. These have polka dots on them. There's some that have aluminum foil. So you could do muffin tins, make individual muffins, or through the magic of television, when you're done baking, you can put one into a bread pan, or in this case, oh, it's hot, or you can put one in this size pan. So either one. This is the one that Dan cooked, and this is a pan that I had that has a nice little lid with it that I can.
And he
Bacon.
sprinkled a little sugar on top of it. Which
So he's got a little bit of sugar on top. And how long does this cook?
350 for, let's see what it's. So we are going to cook that 350 in a preheated oven for 50 to 60 minutes.
That's if you put it in a loaf pan, right?
In a loaf
Because
pan.
if you put it in a muffin pan, it's
It's a little different.
I
We do
can't
not
say.
have
It's a shorter period of time.
It is, and what you can do is you can watch them cook and then pull it out. And if, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can get, oh gosh, I've got an old dog that doesn't move very fast. So you can take a toothpick, and what you'll do is you'll check, when you can see that it's not glistening anymore on the top and it's not runny, you take a toothpick and you stick it in. If it comes out clean, that means it's done in the middle. If it comes out goopy, you want to put it back in. So I would probably run these about 30 to 35 minutes and then check them. And then you can just kind of keep timing them and put them in there. So that's what I would do with those. The other alternative is, I don't know if you mentioned this, you can put nuts in your bread. A lot of people really, really like nuts. I think he might do that. I prefer not to, but walnuts are always good. I don't know if there's any other kind of nuts that would work out good in here. But
I don't know. I don't personally like nuts, but walnuts seem like they would be the best for that.
Yeah.
So you guys, that is the only thing different is we would be mixing this into the dry mixture, mixing it up, and then we'd be either putting it in a muffin pan or a bread pan. And that is the only difference. Kim, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So are we going to cut Dan's?
I think we're going to cut Dan's again. We're going to tempt you guys one more time. And then we thought we could go outside. What time is it? Oh, plenty of time. Gosh, we could go outside and see the tomato plant that we planted here a couple weeks ago. And I also have a sample of some zucchini bread that I made. It's a little different.
Let's look at the difference.
So this is some that I made. Again, it was made out of the zucchinis that were grown in the garden that were started with a lot of the programs. And there was an extra zucchini that Sarah left behind one day. So I picked it up and I made my zucchini bread. And it has almost the same ingredients. I don't put in nutmeg and cloves, but I think everything else was almost exactly the same, a little bit different proportions.
When did you make that?
I made this on Friday.
Because we had it, Kim gave us some over the weekend, and it was so delicious. My daughter just kept asking for more. She loves it.
Yeah. And again, if you don't tell them it's a vegetable, and her daughter likes vegetables, so if you don't tell your kids there's vegetables in it, and maybe you'd want to shave it at that point if you take the green out, they're gonna love it because it's sweet, it's sugary, so it's not necessarily healthy. So don't think it's healthy. It's just it's very tasty, and it's a way to use up those giant zucchinis.
Okay.
I on purpose didn't eat as much breakfast because I was waiting for zucchini bread.
I know. Good thing we already had it done and baked, huh?
Oh,
Get
and
up close of
if you take a slice of zucchini bread and you put a little butter on one side and then grill it,
Will it?
Oh, it's even better.
Now, I've got butter and we can nuke it. I just don't have butter.
But look up close. you can
It's
see the
even better
zucchini.
because it gets a little crispy crust on one side where you butter it.
Cut that one.
And it's nice and warm. Great breakfast.
What's that? See the zucchini in it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, close up. Good.
So he definitely did not peel his either.
It's just a step you don't need to do unless you just can't stand seeing something green in your in your.
And you can
bread.
hardly see the green. It's if you didn't tell people to look
Mine's
for the
browner.
green, you probably wouldn't notice.
Now this is Kim's, and hers is a little browner. I'm not sure why.
Might be more cinnamon and a little, and not the nutmeg,
Well,
because cinnamon makes things pretty brown looking.
because she uses regular sugar.
I use regular sugar and not brown sugar, so that's a little different.
One is cold, one is warm, or room temperature.
Oh yeah, he must have made that this morning.
You can probably hear us chewing.
Sorry about that.
I'm sitting here eating in front of you. Anyway,
So we should post both of those, or send them over to PALS.
Mhm.
I'll send them to Bev, and then maybe she can share those with everybody.
okay.
Don't forget the flour.
That is like the big ingredient. And if you have really kind neighbors, they'll give it to you if they're home. I even walked through some poison ivy over there. Well,
You give me the eye.
no.
Oh my gosh.
So if you want to, we can wander outside.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go outside. Actually, we had planted some tomatoes back in April, maybe.
Oh, it was after Mother's Day.
It was after
It
Mother's
was
Day?
after Mother's Day when we planted the tomatoes. And I don't know if you guys remember, but they had gotten very, very tall in these tiny little pots, and they were flopping over. And we ended up busting off some branches. It was just kind of like a little bit of a mess. It was raining the whole time.
Yep.
But they lived. I said they're pretty tough. They can't stand the
Yeah.
frost, but they were very tough. So I can show you those. And the ones we planted were started by the programs in the gardens in February.
Yep.
And one was mislabeled.
Yep. One was mislabeled. I think they were supposed to be black or.
Supposed to be a black cherry
Black
tomato, and
cherries.
it turned out to be a full size.
And when you're growing a lot of tomatoes,
That happens.
I guess that happens. But we don't have. We mostly did beefsteak, and cherry. Remember that I don't remember planting a lot of the black cherries with them.
They had a whole big rack full of them when I was there, so I took them.
So anyway, we're gonna check them out. Let's do
Okay.
this. Which way should we go, Kim?
We can go this way. Leave the dog here. Oh, actually, she can come out. Okay, Basha, come.
No, Basha.
Basha. Hey, I should get to the top of the stairs.
Pretty backyard.
Very pretty backyard. That's a view from my basement.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view. I love it.
I've been out here half the year.
Okay. Tomatoes. That's my lupa. Oh, you guys, she has a lupa plant.
Is that the one?
Judy, let me get it.
Yeah, here.
I'm going to film for a little while. So here is a loofah that came from the greenhouse. It's climbing along the trellis. Those are going to be huge, Kim.
The reason the bricks are down in the bottom is I planted some peppers and I came out the next day and they were all dug up and all over the place. So I put them back in and I put some anti-varmint stuff in there and they were all dug up again.
Huh.
So I put the bricks in there to keep them from being able to dig them up. And they actually, whoever it was, moved the bricks and dug it some more. So then I put a camera on them to film the animals at night and never came back.
I saw the video and it was hilarious because there was all kinds of different things.
Yeah, but I could not figure out. I think it was a groundhog who came and did that. Don't show them this stuff. It's just
Okay.
ugly. But
I
this
was
is what happens to lamb's ears. Cute little plants. The bees love the flowers, but when it gets spent, it looks awful. So before you buy those cute little lamb's ear plants, just be aware this is what it's going to turn into.
Yeah, it's just so pretty out here, especially last time it was pretty. Last time we were here, it just wasn't as green.
The smoke bush is blooming.
Yeah,
That's
the
that
smoke
thing in front
bush.
here. That's called a smoke bush. And when you look at it from far away, especially this morning in the fog, it really did look like smoke coming out of the top.
Mm-hmm.
And first time I saw that was at a firehouse. Somebody had planted it next to the firehouse.
You have a smoke bush and a fire bush
Fire bush
somewhere
is on
too.
the other side, yeah.
So we'll see that back there.
And then this is a pollinator. This is the pollinator section of my yard. And so I've got some purple and white coneflowers. And this is an aster, and that'll bloom a lot later in the year. So that's kind of nice, everything's spent. And I apologize, I don't know what those two are, but the bees do love them. You can even see there's some bees on this one. It's going from flower to flower. And
Hi,
eventually
little
some butterflies will come too, but mostly I get bees and other little things. Like that's a tiny, tiny little bee with pollen all over his legs. See the yellow on his legs? What you don't want are Japanese beetles.
Yeah, those are going
Oh.
to start coming out. Those
Yeah,
Japanese.
beetles, kill them.
And you can use neem oil. And I've never heard Kim say kill them. So she must think that they're really a nuisance.
They are. And when they fly by you, they bang you in the head.
Yeah.
This is a dahlia.
Look how beautiful these are. Oh my gosh.
Rose bush. They're just awful.
So those are dahlias, and those you have to dig up every year and overwinter them inside.
How do you overwinter them?
You know what? You knock off all the dirt, and then you keep it inside where it doesn't go below
Okay.
like 40. Would probably be the best. I just keep it in my garage, which does
Yeah.
not go below 40.
Okay.
If it does, I'll bring it inside. You don't want it in where it's too warm. Now, this is not one of the tomatoes we planted. This is my friend's tomato seed she gave me. And it's going to turn out to be a medium-sized tomato. But what I do with mine is I have a lot of vertical room. So I do a lot of pruning on mine. I do not need a lot of yield either. So I don't need a bunch of tomatoes. So I actually train it to go up, and it'll get up to the roof line. Then I'll start pinching it off. And really, this will be enough tomatoes for us by the time it gets to the top. It'll start growing some baby shoots out here. So as some of the big ones start to die off, I can get more tomatoes if I want, but I really don't need them. So I just do a lot of training on mine and kind of train them up to take up some room.
Some nasturtiums back there.
Yeah, there's a nasturtium. You can eat those in your salad. They're a variegated variety. So some people think they look sickly. I think they're pretty.
Yeah.
So those you could eat the flowers or the leaves in your salad, and you can see it would make it beautiful.
Yeah, one. Different colors. And we did plant some of those over at Everett one day. So
Somebody's calling. And so there's another tomato over here. It's not as big. It's called a Siberian Red. It's a new variety for me. I have no idea what it's going to taste like or look like. It actually looks a little oblong, kind of pointy. And this is supposed to be cold hardy, although I don't know how cold it can get. It was supposed to have been one of my early producers. I didn't get it in the ground early enough. So it's going to be a little different shape.
yeah,
And I'm
we
hoping
had
it
some
has a
pear
good flavor.
shapes. Are those the yellow ones?
There's yellow pear ones. They're
Yeah.
really cute.
Oh, and the yellow pear ones are so sweet.
Yes, they are so sweet. I love
I
those.
bought
They're
some
my
at
favorite.
the first time I bought them, I bought a little basket, and the guy said, "You're going to need another one of those." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you're going to eat the first one before you get home."
Yeah.
So I took his advice, and it was a good thing because by the time I got home, they were just like cherries. I just kept popping them in
Yes.
my mouth.
And they're cute and different.
I
So they're
know.
kind of fun. There's a daylily here that I have that's blooming. It's a kind of an unusual color, kind of a purplish burgundy yellow.
Pretty.
And then there's swamp milkweed.
For the
And
butterflies.
So there should be monarch butterflies laying eggs on it, I hope. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
yeah.
I don't see anything, but one of these days maybe we will. And then these are the tomatoes we planted in the
Ta-da!
one section. So there's
Look
two
at
on
'em.
this vine because I thought they were both going to be
Whoops.
cherry tomatoes, and they don't always grow quite as thick.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. This one here was going to be a black cherry, but you can tell they're getting quite large. I don't think it looks like a beefsteak though, because those get real crinkly, rimply, but it might be. And then a yellow cherry tomato.
Yeah.
And we actually have two that are ready to eat.
Should we try them?
Yeah.
All right. We should all.
That's the least ripe.
Maybe we should all pick our own for, you know.
Yeah, Yeah, now you have to wipe it on your shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh
You
my
don't want
gosh.
germs.
I'll get my own germs then.
It's good.
That's the first time grown one that I've had.
Yeah, that is really good.
I saved them. I saw it the other day. I thought, I'm gonna save
So
it.
it's sweet.
So you can see this one is not as thick and as bushy. This one's a little bit smaller in its in how it grows. And then this is the standard one. And I've cut off a lot of branches on that. So I wasn't too interested in the standard. So I'll probably start pulling this one back and giving that one more room because the cherries is what we were really after. And I like the yellow ones because they have less acid. And so for the grown-ups in the group, if you have an acid stomach, the cherry, the yellow ones are better.
Okay.
Yellow tomatoes are big ones are even really good too. And then the yellow cherries. So that's what I got. So it ended up living. You can even see there was a branch down here that got completely broken off when we were planting it. And there was some other, it was just flopping all over. So you can see they're pretty darn tough.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that was definitely not doing well when we put it in the ground.
And one of the things I do is whenever I see a diseased or yellow leaf, I pick them off. Sometimes it leaves it almost naked when you get to the end of the year, but they're spreading more disease a lot of times if they have it. And sometimes there's insects on them. You can't even see them, but I go ahead and pull it off. They might be leaf miners. They actually mine inside the leaf and you can't see them. So every time I see a leaf, I pick it off as soon as I can. That kind of goes for a lot of things that I grow that are annuals. Pick off any of those things that look even a little bit diseased
Yeah.
in the hopes of not spreading it. Because you don't want to be spraying any of this stuff because you're going to be eating it.
Yeah. Great advice.
It did have yellow fly all over it. You can put some dish soap in some water and spray it. And I had yellow fly when it was a little bit shorter, or not yellow, white fly. And I sprayed them, and they were all over these tomatoes. And you can see I've just sprayed
The little
them.
white bugs?
Little tiny white things. And sometimes they fly, and sometimes they just kind of glom on. And that's what I have the most trouble with here. Aphids too sometimes. But that's soap, the dish soap and water, not branch. Just spray it on. I'll be darned, it kills them. I didn't think it would.
I'm gonna try that. We've tried neem oil for like the beetles, and then we did like a mixture. Well, that was for a weed killer because we're all organic. So a mixture of vinegar, water, Epsom salt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with salt around because you can kill them with too much salt. The other problem that I have that I'm trying to solve naturally is I have a lot of snakes this year. Usually I get those little ones. They're like that size and they're climbing around a little milk snake. I can pick them up. I can throw them in the woods.
You pick them up, Kim?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
With gloves, even though they're little. But this year we've had some that were like 3 and 4 feet long. And I think they were milk snakes, but there was no way I was touching them. So somebody said put pepper seeds. So I couldn't find any. It's like, those pepper seeds you put on your pizza? I couldn't find any. So I bought crushed chili pepper in a big thing. And I've been sprinkling it all around the house. And I don't see any around here, but I didn't put any right in front here. Last night, I picked up that pot, and there was a little baby snake under it. But I'm trying the chili pepper powder, and I'm going to put it all around the house. The problem is I have frogs that like to be around my house, too, so it'll chase them away. Also, I have to decide, do I want the snakes? But then I'm thinking maybe the frogs are being eaten by the snakes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Who knows?
So that's my trying to do it naturally.
Yes.
For pest control.
We should do that in our children's garden at church. We have snakes.
Oh, there you go.
That live there, and some kids think that.
Because I looked at the snakes, and I don't think it's one, but there were 2 ones here because there were 2 sets of skins, and I have pictures of them, and I'm not certain it's not poisonous, so I didn't want anything to do with it, but nobody on Facebook would tell me.
I'm gonna have to look at that. I didn't see that one.
I have to send it to somebody.
I didn't see that.
Well, anyway, that's where we are with what we have planted.
Okay. Let's see.
What time is it? Oh, we still have some time.
We have about 10 minutes.
I know. All we can do is walk around.
Let's go on a walk.
You want to go into this area?
Kim, you have a beautiful yard to check out.
Thank goodness for the rain.
Oh, there's our neighbor that has the flowers.
Oh, the flower lady showed up. You want me to go get some?
Yeah,
Then
let's
we
do
can
it.
go back and maybe finish. If it's.
Well,
You can show them around the.
covering. Yeah, it's clean. It kind of definitely spreads, so you'll see it over here.
I also, however, see some poison ivy.
Yes, we saw that the other day when we were
there.
here. So we have
If
poison
you
ivy.
are allergic to poison ivy, you do not want to touch
This
cute little plant.
this plant.
It looks I touched the toe of my shoe that's touched it.
Cute little guy over here.
And that's an azalea bush, I believe.
Azalea bush.
It would have bloomed in the spring.
Nice.
And that ground cover, I know what it is. It's Pachysandra, and it likes shade.
And look how much it's filled out over there.
And it does, once it gets started, it kind of fills itself out.
A hosta, little baby. That's not one of the, what is it? With the stripes. Variegated or I forget what she says.
Yeah, these are all things that like shade because there's this nice big tree over them.
Yeah, I came over here the other day because I have a nice shady area in my backyard, and I need to figure out some things to plant. So Kim was really helpful in that. So let's walk around here. This is pretty cool. This is another ground covering. I don't know what.
I don't know what that is, but I sure like that.
I
I'm gonna
know.
have to ask him when she gets back.
It's almost like a grass, too. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the names are of these, but I do know this. We have some Shasta daisies. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Well, Lou, how is your garden coming along at your house?
It's going a little nuts right now. I have to pick Swiss chard today and I guess freeze it because I couldn't possibly eat as much as there is. But I planted green beans where I had pulled up the sugar snap peas, but I think the crows ate the seeds. So I
Aww.
need to replant it and hope that I get green beans before it gets too cold in September.
Because we can plant those, what, 2 to 3 times?
Yeah, I think if I get them planted this week, I'll still have green beans.
Kim has a flower, everyone. Let's go back and finish our recipe. Woo! Thanks, neighbor.
I have the best neighbors.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And here comes Basha. Come on, Basha. Come on. Zucchini bread time. Oh, marjoram. That's right. I've been through this backyard a few times. Should remember.
Is it kind of cedar?
Yeah, I'll put it in the pot for you if you want it. Careful, it goes all over. Okay, well, we can go down and we can finish the zucchini.
Yes! That's so awesome.
You guys are forcing me to keep my garden cleaned up.
No. I was saying I've been over here about 3 different times. I should know what everything is called in your yard by now. I know the smoke bush. Yeah. Well. Back to the basement kitchen.
Are they getting car sick here by being walked around?
Probably. But they're used to being car sick because I've been filming for about a few weeks, right?
And that's the dog, yeah. She's not at me.
Pretty cute little potting bench over there. Okay. We're back.
How much flour?
2, let me see. Let's look.
I think you said 1.5 cups, but better check.
I might as well have been all flour by that time because I was.
Sasha, go on.
All right, 1.5.
Let me just double check.
Ooh, we got back here to my zucchini bread.
Hey guys, 1.5 cup all-purpose flour.
And one of the things that's interesting, my recipe says I need to have sifted flour. It makes a difference. If you sift your flour, you end up using a lot less, and it makes your stuff moist. So if your recipe says sifted flour, you need to sift it. I didn't bring my sifter down, but it's a little thing you put it in, and you sift it, and it aerates it. So if you use unsifted flour, 1.5 is that? Your recipe won't turn out quite as moist. My neighbor was, bless her heart, said just come back from eating out. Yeah. There's that.
I owe your neighbor Andrew lunch.
She said I can keep it. She doesn't do any baking. I said, no, that's all right. I'll give it back. So this is the dry ingredients. You want to mix them all together.
Oh, let me preheat the oven.
Oh yeah, actually you can preheat it because we're gonna end up cooking it. Just hit bake and then it bake temp or something like that. Oven temp and then hit the up arrow 350.
And then we will go ahead and preheat it.
So this is your zucchini bread.
Go. That's more like it.
Probably. This is generally better for
Mixing like
dry ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's not the best cooking show in the world.
You know what? We have some time. We'll get better. I'm looking for something else to mix. I don't see.
I've got a fork. Yeah, the basement kitchen is not fully stocked. But it is nice to have an oven down here.
Yeah, I use my basement kitchen for canning because we didn't have air conditioning and it was way too hot to do it upstairs.
Do you still do canning, Lou?
I haven't, well, I can tomato juice because tomato juice doesn't require a pressure canner.
Oh, no, we can put them in here.
Somehow in moving and stuff, I can't find my pressure canner, so I don't.
I was going to say we could do a canning demo.
I don't try to do that, but tomato juice is something that you can can with just hot water and it's safe.
So you still put it in those in
In jars.
Okay.
Tomatoes, because they have so much acid, if they would go bad, you would know it, and it's not like green beans where they could have botulism, which is deadly and you might not notice.
Yeah.
But things like tomato juice with lots of acid are usually safe to do with just a hot water bath.
Now, Dan makes a lot of salsas and what else? He makes like a relish.
Different relishes, hot
Yeah.
relishes and things. He does some pickling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. I mean, if you want to grow a nice garden and you just have too much, try canning. Freezing. A lot of people have switched to freezing because it's easier than canning. If you've got room in your freezer, you can just freeze a lot of your veggies and they'll be just as good.
I was going to say I freeze broccoli. I'm going to freeze Swiss chard because I
Really?
like to use it in soups, and
I want to try
Winter
that.
soups.
frozen Swiss chard is fine in soup. It's not quite as good as like I like to saute it when it's fresh, but the frozen you can throw into soups instead of kale or spinach or some other vegetable.
Yeah, these might be too full. We'll find out when they're done, which you guys will be long gone and my oven will be paying the price.
Yeah. But again, we are going to put this on. We'll send it to Bev, and maybe Bev can post this for you guys or something.
It's really good. I'm hogging it down like I've
Right.
never eaten before.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay, it's 11:42. We're
I
gonna.
can't believe we got it back.
I know we did it. You know, it's not about the obstacles we face; it's how we handle them. Okay. So we handled them, and we thank you so much for being patient with us while we make the grateful zucchini bread. We are grateful we got to make today.
It all worked out.
It looks good.
It looks
It takes
very
it takes a village.
good. It takes a village.
It really it does. Definitely neighbors are useful.
Right. So we have the oven on at 195. Oh, it tells you what the temperature. My oven does not do that at home.
That's a pretty open.
And that's pretty nice that it does that.
Oh, do you guys know why I had this little bear in with the brown sugar?
To break it up?
No, you know what? It's you make it wet. You moisten this, you soak it in water for about an hour before. You put it in there and it keeps the stuff from getting hard.
Nice.
You can do the same thing with a crust of bread. Take a crust of bread for every new thing you put in here, stick it in there. Eventually the crust of bread will get super hard, but your sugar never does.
Yeah, I've done that with
Yeah.
bread before. So that's a pretty cool thing. Is that Pampered Chef?
You know, I think I got it at the kitchen store at the mall that's closed
Okay.
now.
All right.
Oh,
Pretty neat.
So,
The kitchen store is closed.
by the
It's
way,
a toy store now.
my recipe that I
Yeah.
have says you can use sweet potato and something else. I sent you that recipe. You can use sweet potato in this recipe too, if you happen to like those or they're easier to get a hold of in the winter. I'm trying to see.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see,
make
hold up first.
sweet potato bread and it
So-
tastes a lot like pumpkin
I
bread.
got it. So Kim uses sifted flour. She uses
Oh, carrots.
six
Sorry. Carrots
sorry.
or sweet potatoes. Sorry.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Weight Watchers sweet potato bread recipe and it's really good.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Okay, I think.
Okay, well,
done?
we are at 11:45. I don't know if there's any questions about
Thank you, ladies.
maintaining your grocery list.
Looks
we tried-
delicious.
Tried to
Awesome.
coordinate as best as we could. I think we did all right.
I
I like it. We
That's
got
my
to
fault.
borrow from the neighbor on live TV.
Hey, in my defense, life has been a little different. So I've had a little 2-year-old follow me. Yes, that's been wonderful, but I haven't had a lot of, planning time or going to the grocery store time. That's my little bit. But so anyways, we got it done. Here we go.
And this is all going to be barbecued this afternoon.
That's gonna be barbecued.
Put it in a Tupperware with some oil sprinkled on it, a bunch of seasoning on it, shake it up and throw it on the barbecue. It's delicious.
And next week, hopefully we'll be doing some salsa making with Dan.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. We can come down here again.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was an amazing segment. So thank you so much to our friends at Together We Grow.
Thank you.
We're outside, but I love this segment inside. So
Awesome.
It was
Yeah.
nicer.
I'm sure you enjoyed that. All right, everyone. Well, stick with us. We'll be heading over to Harrison County to join our friends there for our lunchtime segment. But we're very grateful to Together We Grow and the wonderful episodes that they've given us here on PALS TV. So thank you so much, ladies. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Oh my
No, it
God.
worked out